Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I welcome you to these series of reminders coordinated by the Muslim Women's Council during this Ramadan. Firstly, Ramadan Mabruk to you all. May Allah make this a very productive Ramadan, and may He bless you and your families with all the blessings that are possible during this very, very special month. My name is Maroof Shaffi, your brother in Islam, and I've been asked to give a reminder about this month. You'll hear many reminders which are reminding you about the basics of this month. Why was the month of Ramadan instituted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He says it very simply in Surah Baqarah, so that you may learn taqwa. Taqwa, look the word up, study it, study that verse in Quran. It's very, very important to understand that taqwa does not really mean fear as such of Allah. Normally it's translated as fear of Allah, but taqwa is a very close feeling that we have with God because we love Him. The basis of all our dealings with Allah should be the basis of love rather than fear. And it's something, it's unfortunate we've been taught that way. Yes, taqwa is fear of Allah, but you fear Him because you love Him so much. But the thrust of my reminder today is on two basic concepts which you may have heard, you may not have heard. We often hear that Ramadan is a month of change. Many people have many definitions, but I define it as a transformation from a state which is usually undesirable to a state which is more desirable. Yeah, we're always working on this change. I say more desirable because we're never going to reach our end target. The process of change is, for those who have attempted change, real change in their lives, you will find out is quite a painful process. It takes a lot of effort, and that's why it's undertaken by very few. So what has this got to do with Ramadan? Well, Ramadan thrusts us into the process of change quite forcefully. We have to change our routines, we have to change our basic habits to cope with this month. So Allah, in His own wisdom and beneficence towards us, has actually put forward a month where He takes away our static state, you know, that state we get used to for the other 11 months of the year, and places us into this state of change, this state of flux. And change requires, my dear respected brothers and sisters, discipline and constancy for it to take effect. Without discipline and without constancy, you're not going to make it through this month. We usually admire people who have voluntarily put themselves through this process. We admire sports people, we admire scholars who've written great books, we admire lots of people, even people who have made small changes in their lives. We admire them for it. And why do we admire them for it? Because deep down we know as human beings that there's going to be some hard work involved in that. But here's the reality, my dear respected brothers and sisters. Most of us don't want change. What you normally end up doing is something called settling. And settling is one of the worst dispositions of human beings. In fact, settling suggests that we're static. And I've learned throughout my life, and I think many other people have learned this as well, that there is no such thing as static. The reality of the human condition is that we are either decaying or we are improving. You can't have static. If you stop improving yourself as a human being, you will start the downward journey towards decay. And if you start improving yourself, you somehow get out of that decay and you become a better person. And Ramadan is really here to teach us that through this discipline and through this constancy, the little deeds that we do, the 1% change that we make, and that's one big mistake that people make as Muslims and as human beings as general. They want change to come very, very quickly. And what you've got to realize, brothers and sisters, that change comes very, very slowly. In fact, if during this Ramadan we were to make a 1% change every single day, then by the end of Ramadan we will have changed about 30% in our habits and in our ways. So it could be controlling our tongue, which is what we're supposed to be doing in Ramadan. If we make 1% change every day, I'm not going to backbite, I'm not going to tell that little white lie, I'm not going to do many things. Yeah, I'm going to talk about good things, I'm going to talk straight with people, I'm going to say kind words. So there's changes that we could simply make with our tongue, our eyes, our hands. I'm going to use my hands and my feet towards good. I'm going to deliver food parcels to people. It could be something as simple as that. That little change. And little changes, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentions in a hadith, that those deeds which are done with constancy and little changes every day, they lead to big results. So brothers and sisters, make this a commitment during this month that you're not going to settle. In fact, there is no settling really. You're not going to go into decay, and that you're going to improve yourself in many different ways. You set your targets and then make that change slowly, incrementally, and become a better person. And we as Muslims, we bemoan sometimes our condition as a collective. We say that this is what's happened to the Muslim Ummah, but you find that people are not willing to make those very simple small changes which could actually affect generations of your family, of your friends. You've got a circle of influence, and when you make those changes in your life and people see how you're benefiting from them, you don't know what effect that is going to have on other people. So Ramadan is a time of change. It is, and we've got to make that change in a very effective way. Make it incrementally, make it slowly, and don't settle, brothers and sisters. And the last thing on this particular topic is that what I see is a lot of people do actually make changes in their life during Ramadan, but then they settle on the day of Eid, and then it's downhill from there. It's decay from there again. But if you've made some positive changes during Ramadan, don't settle. Keep making those small changes and bettering yourself after Ramadan. Please don't settle after Ramadan. So have we settled? We don't settle. As Muslims, Muslims are constantly urged by Allah to be on the move, whatever it is in their life and whatever it is in our collective life. We're asked to join together as groups and make some positive change in our society as well. And we know that the MWC is doing this kind of work, so join them. Join them in their curry circles, join them in their intellectual efforts that they're making to understand Islam in our context. Join them in whichever way you can, and don't settle.